Welcome. This video is a helpful way for you to remember the key principles of mediation captured in the acronym VICS: voluntary, impartial, confidential, and the principle of self-determination. Now, these four core principles of the mediation process will guide and resource mediators and the participants in the mediation. It's important to explain these core principles, especially before the outset of the mediation and in private and joint sessions. So let's start with the first one. Confidentiality, a crucial principle for the whole process. Participants need to know that it's safe to say what they need to say and sometimes what not to say, even that they don't want to, if they don't want to say it in a joint session. Psychological safety is crucial for optimum engagement in the process. This confidentiality is kept for each session. Each private meeting has its own confidentiality. Nothing from the private session or the joint session can be shared with anyone else in the mediation process or any other party outside it without the very express permission of the participants. Only when legal imperatives require can this confidentiality be set aside. At the very end of the process, in the agreement stage, mediators may ask who needs to know about the agreement and what will you tell them. This can be simply that they took part in the mediation and the mediation has now come to a conclusion. Or whatever the participants agree to. This is an essential element of self-determination, which we will cover shortly. Next, we have voluntary participation. Now, it's vital that there's no coercion on any participant to take part in the process. And knowing simply that they can leave at any point is an important dimension to the process. Now, this autonomy adds so much to the level of engagement, as it often for participants have had the opposite experience as a result of conflict issues. And the mediator is always watchful around this element as the process unfolds and addresses either in a joint or private session if there's any concerns in this area. And remember, they demonstrate voluntary participation by signing the agreement to mediate. And also by entering into the process and signing the agreement to mediate, they're also signaling an intention to resolve the issues at hand. Then we have self-determination. This core principle at the heart is one of the key benefits of mediation, that the participants are in charge of the outcomes. It is they, the participants, that together frame if there's an agreement and what shape that agreement takes. It's not for the mediator to create the agreement. The role of the mediator is facilitating the process of arriving, if possible, at the agreement. Remember, they own the problem and they're the experts on this, and therefore they're the experts on the solution. You facilitate the process, you facilitate the conversation, manage and drive the process, which is introductions. Remember the CISA model: stories, issues, solutions, and agreement. And in that agreement, then it's for you to make sure that you have a clear understanding and the participants have an understanding of what that agreement is, that it's actionable, it's implementable, and we have enough details there to make sure that takes place. And finally, we have impartiality. Central to the role of the mediator is the impartiality that they bring to every aspect of the process. They address any potential conflict of interest. They state that you will not be a judge, a referee to take sides. And if you feel so, if the participants feel so, let me know. So be clear on that in your introductions. Mediators can regularly check in with participants to see if they're experiencing the impartiality necessary at all points of the process. The mediator's own self-awareness around their own potential biases is vital. So there you have it, the four core principles of the mediation process that will guide and resource you as mediators and the participants in the mediation process using the acronym VICS. Best of luck with your studies.